Hello, Ororo.
Hey, Fancy Nancy.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
All good. How's everything going in this wonderful, summery, quite warmish day?
Oh, very warmish day. But yeah, really good. Um, feeling I'm feeling it on the back of my neck, like very tingly, a lot of energy out
Yeah,
there. So just processing it and observing it. So yeah, really good. Really good.
huge energies. Everything's shifting so fast. And when you look, I mean, I don't watch the news, I watch the alternate news. When you see what's going on around the world, and it's in many ways, it's wonderful. Things are moving forward. We want our freedom. We want
Yeah.
peace and harmony in the world, and things are really moving forward. Let's just hope that doesn't take too long, because a lot of people are actually exhausted. I've got a friend who's in hospital at the moment after 2 years of wearing a mask for her job. Her lungs have collapsed. She's only in her 40s. So this is pretty serious what's happening to the people. So let's just hope this is all sorted fairly quickly so people can live
Oh,
healthy.
wow.
Yeah, it's quite scary what's going on. It's not much fun at all. Yeah.
No, not that I rebel, I guess against wearing masks, but like it's your breathing's just not normal when you have it on.
Mm.
So I can understand from a standpoint, like say if you are actually sick and you're trying to avoid spreading it,
Mm.
that's perfectly normal. But to just wear it just cause,
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're breathing, like you've mentioned quite a few times, and actually kind of feeling it a lot more now, is like the very
Mm.
shallow breathing.
Yeah.
Um,
Normal. I mean, if it was normal, we'd pop out with masks on, wouldn't we?
yeah, that's it. But yeah, it's filtered, it's yeah, shallow breathing, not that full exchange. You don't get that energy that you get from breath.
No.
So I was doing a lot of deep breathing yesterday. I drank so much water,
Yeah.
so much water. So I was definitely processing something.
Yeah.
Um, it was just full on about 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Mm.
a wave.
Yeah.
Fantastic feeling, but I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
yep,
it's
need
huge. It's
need
good.
water, need water.
Mm.
A lot
Yeah.
of messages.
Yeah, we're releasing a lot of density from ourselves. So detoxing, and we do need to drink a lot of water, but it's uh, talking to various people for the past few days, and there's so much happening in their lives, particularly since yesterday. It's unbelievable. Things are just moving very fast, and it's not all bad. It's just, they may say, because it's different. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't like change, and majority of people don't like change, actually, because it's something unknown. They don't know what they're
it's
stepping.
uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, yeah, and they'd
Yeah,
rather stay, sort of, better the devil you know than the one you don't, which is kind of not very productive, because you're just stuck in it's stagnant. It's not productive at all. But
yeah,
that's the way we've been programmed and been operating for many years. So now we all have to move out of that kind of avoidance of facing change. So that's what we're about, from moving on from fear onto better way of behaving, more in a fun way. So it's really letting go of anything fearful, all fear,
yeah.
behavior, thoughts, and everything. And changes are huge, even if you start with small steps. I don't mean you, I mean anyone
Yeah, yeah.
each one of us just takes small steps towards a
Mm.
change. It's better than nothing. We all need to take action, because you can't just sit back and hope that the world around you will change without you taking any action. It's just not on. So it's so much, almost like a whirlwind.
Literally.
And it's going very fast. It's exciting. I think it's all good. It's just that we're not used to it. So it's kind of scary for many people.
Yeah. And definitely overwhelming if you're not initially open to change. But then when you try and then it's very fast, which I felt was, yes, last night. Yeah, it can get overwhelming, but yeah, like I guess you, like yourself and myself, build some, mental, I don't know if it's like resilience, that this is okay, you go with the flow, and it's really, really lovely actually.
It is.
But it is fast and it can be overwhelming, but yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, go with the flow is really the way we need to go. Go with the flow is the way we need to go. That didn't make much sense, but really go with the flow makes sense. Yeah, just go with it and just change slowly, because if it happens suddenly, it is frightening, and it can, be very confusing and create a lot of behavior, undesirable behavior amongst people. So it's just one step at a time. And I don't know, my intuition tells me there's a lot more of this around the corner, and I think a lot of people will really lose their shit as we go along. So let's just
I'm predicting it's within the next week, because you and I usually pick up the remnants way before it starts.
Yep.
So anyone listening, just prepare yourself within the next week. I'm feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. I can feel the momentum's picking up, and it's
pedal to metal, like it's going full on. Yeah,
it's going to be good in the end. It's because it's unknown, it's new, it's strange, no one's experienced before, so it's really frightening. And I don't mind it personally. I just go with the flow anyway, and I think, well, whatever happens, you just deal with it. But a lot of people don't feel comfortable with that. They need to know the steps. They need to know what's around the corner, or they need to have some kind of predictability to make sure that they won't be, surprised in any way. But these days you can't do that. You're just out there, whatever energy, whatever hits you, whatever comes at you, you've got to deal with it. And really, if you just stay hydrated, if you just do your breath work, breathing at any moment that you can, this is what I do. And if anybody wants to do the same, they can do their own research on the net. There's lots of ways of calming yourself down. I like the breath work, breathing in slowly, at least three deep breaths at the same time, and just release. And instantly you feel your whole body relaxing. Meditating doesn't necessarily mean, you have to sit in for hours in silence. It could be just walking in nature, walking on the beach, connecting nature and animals and birds. And that.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of birds.
Yeah.
And actually, even today in Woolies, like literally in Woolies inside Westfield. So Chris and I were shopping today, and I was thinking of something really nice, and this pigeon popped out of nowhere underneath, walked in front of me and disappeared underneath. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
What have you got to tell me? This is what happens to me. They've been flying very low. I can feel them just on top of my head, or they're past me, and it's almost like I can see them flying, and they do a fast U-turn. They come not into me, but just towards me. I'm like, oh, hello. What have you got to tell me? I have a chat with them, but it's wonderful how nature responds. It's great. Really, really nice. And that's what we need to do. Calm down, drink lots of water, clean water, and eat lighter. I think too many people eat things that don't actually agree with their body, you really need to have a chat with your body and see what it needs and have a more suitable food, and maybe, not a full plate, but half a plate, maybe more often. Being summer as well, we need to drink a lot more.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's just everything. It's just the basic needs to calm down, keep hydrated, go with the flow, eat healthy, and as the shit gets stirred up from within, you've got to release it properly, not at other people. This is what's really important. A lot of people are projecting their shit at each other, whoever's closest to them. And well, you can take it once or twice or 3 times, but it can get quite heavy, and you just need to have your space and try and release it in a different way, not necessarily throwing it at other people. That's my advice to everyone who feels uncomfortable with some of the emotions that are being stirred up. And
definitely.
A lot of people feel that sense of unworthiness at the moment is so obvious that we've all got to face the where do we feel unworthy? Where do we feel kind of unloved or rejected or abandoned in any way?
Yeah.
A lot of us are going through that. So I think probably globally, everybody's going through the feeling unworthiness, really dealing with any feelings of unworthiness. And it's
Definitely agree there. The rejection and abandonment. I think that's when I was observing a lot of the drama happening. I'm like, I can probably 90% sure trace it back to that as the root cause. Of people projecting their crap. It's like, and I feel for them, send them love and send them on their way. But yeah, it was just like, it was full on.
Yeah.
Oh, why do you feel unworthy? Because like you're very much projecting that at people and trying to make them feel like that too. So
right, and half the time people are not even aware of it. They don't realize what they're doing because it's just at the subconscious level. They're just releasing whatever's there, sort of instinctual, is just reactive to whatever the situation, whatever's being stirred up. And I think what we need to do, all of us, because it's affecting all of us, is just to stop yourself and say, well, what does this mean? What's it teaching me? What's this about? How can I release it in the best way? And that's the work that we've got to do all the time, and it's going to get more and more intense and faster. So that's why I feel that it'll be a lot more stuff when the shit hits the fan. There'll be a lot more anger, a lot of frustration. There'll be all these emotions, these repressed emotions that people have been holding on to for probably a lifetime. I think they'll be flying out everywhere. That's what I feel is going to happen. I can feel it intensifying. I can see, I'm already seeing small amounts of it, but I think it's going to be on a larger level.
Yeah. And it's going to change the way people perceive life in general, because your body is holding on to it. So it's a lot of ailments that are probably arising. And, a lot of people are like, it's COVID this, COVID that. But it's also emotional crap you're holding on to. Given that on top of a pandemic is never going to help anyone mentally and physically. But we can't always take it back to the one obvious thing, which is COVID at the moment. But, a lot of mental garbage, and then that manifests into physical garbage, my shoulders weak, or my back's hurting, getting headaches, I'm tense. Go go and connect to nature for 5 minutes and have a conversation with yourself. I reckon it will do a world of good as a starter.
Yeah, definitely. And what I've noticed that what a lot of people tend to do is kind of take a back seat and, oh, we'll just wait. Just do what you're told. Just wait and see wait till this is all over. Let's just wait till things get better. But they won't get better unless we take action. Each and every one of us needs to take action on the personal level as well as the collective, like in groups, in your family group and collectively in the whole globally. We all need to take action and kind of start doing good things for each other instead of picking out what's not working. Everybody's so focused on picking on or pointing out the negative. That's not working, that's not working. So the more we talk about it, the more we're keeping it alive, and it's just going to expand, it's going to stay with us. Just leave it to the side and say, okay, all right, that's not what we want, but this is what we want. Look at the nice things. What I've noticed around the place, that people are so much nicer towards one another. And when you see somebody's full face, they start smiling and they're so excited. Oh my goodness, there's a whole face I can see.
Yeah.
It's just so, and if you don't wear a mask, it's just, oh, it's so lovely. If they've got one on, they'll pull it down and then say hello, and we don't really even have to wear them. But people are like, have become almost programmed like mice on that on the wheel. They've been programmed and they're just doing the same program, and we don't even have to wear them anymore. A lot of places it's just everything's changed, but people, instead of looking at what the rules are, they seem to have gone into the perpetual pattern of just doing the same thing, and I'll just stay in here, I'll stay in my fear, and I'll do this. No, we don't just need to do that. We need to step out and say, let's create a better life for us and everybody around us. And I think this is where we're at the moment. That's why people are feeling confused, because they're so used to someone or something on the outside of themselves fixing things. Like the government will make new rules, and the doctor will tell you what's wrong with you, the teacher will teach, and the lawyer will fix it. There's always someone to fix things, but actually we need to fix our own life. We need to get together and create new life, new ways of living in every aspect of our lives, whether it's health, education, the way we eat, the way we do everything, the way we communicate with one another. I feel that we're right at the threshold of that. And I would be surprised if a lot more people, because I've heard from kind of different groups, this is what people are talking about. They want to get together with like-minded people and build like eco-friendly environments, like housing or living, so they can support one another, not where there's one person in charge and they will do what they're told, but actually collaborative community living. And it's great how many people are excited about doing that. And
I think that was a vision of ours 4 or 5 years ago. Like, how exciting if we had like this. So I think it is pretty much coming into fruition, or a spark for it. Because to your point just before, I think one of the greatest things coming out from this is just disjoint. Like we're so disconnected from each other. It's incredible. As an example, right? It was, I always actually had to laugh. I was at the fruit shop and I was waiting for some people to just walk by past me. And there was this guy and his children and these two elderly ladies, and they're like walking towards each other. And instead of, go to the left and, be on your way and pass, they met at the middle. They literally stared at each other. And it was just like, and I'm there observing, like, is anyone going to say, excuse me? Or I was like, this is ridiculous. No one said a thing. It was a solid 5 seconds. And then, the gentleman like just kind of just moved to the side a little bit, but I was just like flabbergasted. I'm like, have you, what is happening? It was, I actually like giggled a little bit because I was just like, what did I just witness? It's me straight away. If like, it's either the choice to move or be like, excuse me. No, it was just like a stare off. And I was like, do you not know how to communicate? Like, it's just another human being. Like,
forgotten. I'm sure they've forgotten.
Oh, wow. It was yeah, I had to laugh at the situation, but at the same time I was like, this is just so wrong. Like, so wrong. I was just like, wow, okay, this is where we at, and I'm definitely not choosing to be at that side of things.
Result of 2 years of separations and fear and uncertainty and confusion, and people are so afraid to the point they're afraid of another human being, which is
100%.
laugh at it. It's quite mad, really.
It is pure madness. And you know what was also like, I think it gave me a little bit of anxiety about it, was just like, it was like a gentleman and his son, so that's 2 generations, and then like 2 older ladies, so that's 3 generations who can't communicate with each other. And I'm like, what is this? What is this shenanigan? It was mental. So that's what I took from it, and I'm just like, I want to change that. I don't know how. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Hopefully this helps, but it's just like, man, communicate.
Well, start off slowly. People just need to let go of the fear of each other, really. And most of it is just the constant fear, information filled with fear, that just people are frozen. I mean, I don't even have a TV. I don't care about it. You hear the news, you listen to it, and you need to use your critical thinking, your analytical mind to work out what's good for you and what's good for everybody around you. But when you're constantly told the same thing, it can really cement that fear right into your cells and really I don't know, just freezes people. It totally has frozen it to the point that they don't even know. And part of it is actually because they don't know how the other person will respond. A lot of people are waiting to be attacked by another person. They're too scared to even say hello or have a joke because they don't know how the other person will react. So they don't say anything. Everybody's like stunned mullets.
Really?
So, do something about it. And you have to laugh because we've just gone gaga. Gaga, can we even talk to one another? It's madness, absolute madness. And I think this is where we just got to have compassion for one another, and it affects different people different ways, and we just got to be kind and support each other and start moving forward from here. That's all I can say, is just stop thinking everything that's in front of you from the point of fear, but look at it realistically from your heart. Try and use your heart. Have compassion for the other person, and point, even if you point out how they affect you, if it's in a negative way, you still got to say it in a compassionate way. But it's not always easy because everyone's been pushed right up against the wall, and so much confusion and fear. But I think we'll be fine. We're very tough. Humans are very tough, and we basically do care about one another, and we'll get there again. It's just unfortunate. What I find really, really difficult to witness is the what's happening with older people. Being isolated from their loved ones for weeks on end. It's just
very detrimental to them.
Perfect.
Yeah. very detrimental.
Yeah, it's just, I know they're tough. They've lived through they've lived through wars, they've lived through the Depression, they've lived through all sorts of things. They've even learned, a lot of them even learned how to use computers in their 90s, 80s and 90s. They're using computers and iPads, and they've achieved so much. For them to end up lonely in a room all by themselves, no human being to help them, I find that horrific.
Yeah,
really horrific.
definitely.
I hope that we can just start helping one another and end this misery. Really, global misery is just not on anymore. And we'll do it. We're tough. Humans are very tough. We are. You can see by the elderly. I've worked with older people all my life, and I've learned so much from them. Some of the stories are absolutely incredible, what they've survived. And
the perspective that you get from them telling you to, definitely. I'm like, man, I would have lost my bananas about something like that. And you're like, oh, honey, you got to laugh about it, or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, very resilient. Oh,
yeah,
really resilient. They had to be, otherwise I don't think there'd be a civilization on Earth today if that was the case, if they weren't resilient. So I think we've got a lot to learn from them. And
definitely.
We really need to be tough, and it'll be fine. We're almost there. It's exciting. I think what we're picking up is that exciting energy now, when you feel like you're at you've been on a marathon for God knows for how long, running for hours on end, and then you're close to the finish line, almost there. You're dying.
Yeah.
So we can't just fall down just before the finish line. We've got to keep going. We'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's excitement for sure, but then also a lot of crap. So I think it's just a mixture of high energies from both ends of the spectrum.
People just need to learn how to deal with their with the emotions that come up, with the feelings of it's a lot of doom and gloom. People are so used to depending on something on the outside of themselves. They've actually they're not in the habit of going within and check in with themselves and say, what's my intuition telling me? So, but I have noticed that a lot more people are starting to do that because they've been forced to spend time alone and really work on themselves. And a lot of people have. What I get from majority of people, they've really reassessed their lives. They know what they value. They value their family, their peace, their freedom, their time to spend together and have fun. So that's a good sign. So that's what we need to start working on from now on.
Yeah, and I think that's super exciting because I know I definitely feel that for myself and for Chris. It's about each other and loving each other and family. And having time, or making time, quality time together, I should say.
Exactly.
Not because it's part of the routine Monday to Friday 9 to 5, or do all the errands and then quality time. No, we're prioritizing it definitely the other way. And it's been fantastic. So and wanting to see your friends and and it sounds horrible, but also I guess cutting the dead branches that is friends that don't add value to your life. Not in a harsh way, it's just more like, look, like it's been great. It's been great the time we've known each other, but I think I'm gonna love you and let you go because I only have certain amount of time for certain amount of people. So and that's my happiness. So
and it happens naturally. All of a sudden you just see you don't have to have an argument or anything. It just happens.
No.
It's kind of, there's no attraction like within. You don't have any needs to, what's the word, there's no alignment, there's no attractions, there's no needs. The energy is just kind of dissolving and sending you on a different path. But there's nothing wrong with that. People come and go into your life all the time, and they come, they go, they leave. What's that saying? Some people come for a reason.
Yeah.
People come into your life for a reason. Some come for a season, and some come to in your life for the rest of your life, sort of thing. So
yeah, and I think that definitely leads to the whole premise of abandonment. So like some people just can't let go, but
problem.
guarantee you if they add absolute no value to your life, let them go, because it is fantastic. and I'm not meaning that in a malicious sense. It's just like, it's been fun.
That's right.
This is calling it there.
Your job with that person is done. Basically, for whatever reason that your souls met in this lifetime, obviously the reason or whatever you came together to learn from one another and accomplish is done. So you just go separate ways. But so many people, like you said, they feel either abandoned, that there's a fear of loss. So they're trying to piece it together, because we've always been told that, you've got to keep everybody together, and you get married and you stay together forever and everything is forever. But that's not true. Not at all. And so if you're stuck with people that you have nothing in common with, what's going to happen? You're going to start arguing and making each other's life a misery. So it's fine to say goodbye, and who knows, you might cross paths again if there's a need.
Oh, you definitely find you do at a time where you're I guess more happier version of yourself.
Yeah.
And when you meet them again, it's like, okay, new perspective.
That's right.
How are you? Like, genuinely wanting to know them better. And you can only do that when you know yourself better too, I find.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Instead of kind of like that surface level kind of fake thing where you're like, oh, okay, like, here we go again. Like, no, I sometimes I find like the good friends, or ones I consider my best friends, it's like we don't have to see each other every weekend or every other weekend, but because life happens and we all got families and friends of our own. So if I catch up with someone that I genuinely love and I haven't seen them for 6 months, I'm not going to act like, oh my God, it's been 6 months and blah, blah, blah. And how dare you? No, life happens.
Conditions, unnecessary conditions, aren't they?
Yeah. It's like, I feel like I only saw you last week. Like, what's been happening? Yeah. I just find like that's the best kind of friendships and relationships.
Unconditional.
Yes, thank you. And I think that's a big focus for me, is strengthening my relationships and being very selective in who that would be.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let that naturally happen for me. So not forcing anything, but I'm like, it'll click and be like, yep, this is someone I want in my life. Yeah.
We all have to accept it as normal. Your whatever the purpose of being with that person is done, and that's it. You go separate ways without any sense of loss or guilt or anything. There's no need. That person's got their own purpose to live, their own path to follow, and you've got your own to follow. So just be grateful for what you had, instead of focusing on the loss that you're no longer seeing each other or trying to force it to happen. Just think of the good times and be grateful that you did know each other, or that you did know, did come across them, and whatever you learned, whatever good times you had together, focus on that. So, oh, it's great having that person in my life. Oh yes, that was good. Oh well, I've got a friend who we've known each other, oh goodness, probably many years, over 40 years.
Wow.
We might not see each other for years. We might not even talk to each other on the phone or anything. But every time when we get together, it's like no time has passed.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
They're the best type. Yeah.
Yep. And if one needs something, the other one's always ready to support. We always supported one another in any possible way. But if I don't hear from it, I just, oh, I haven't heard from you. What's going on? No, we don't do that. That's fine. If we need to talk, we will.
Yeah.
We'll catch up.
It's not forcing it. That's exactly it. Not forcing it at all. Let it naturally occur.
Yeah. Everything has to be natural. Everything we need to start doing things naturally. We've been going for far too
And
long
being-
on an artificial path.
Yeah, and being comfortable with your wants. I feel like that's a big thing. Like when you said guilt, I feel like there is a lot of guilt to say, look, I don't really want to be friends anymore. Like, no, don't feel guilty about that. That's obviously you learn wanting at a subconscious level, like, that this relationship's done.
Right.
Friends or relationships that aren't working,
Yep.
family as well, that I know that sounds horrible, but it's especially family. If they're not beneficial for you, you don't have to stay.
That's right.
You can definitely find a soul family out there who'll have your back.
Well, that's so true. We are on the larger scale. When you look at the bigger picture, we are all one big family. We all live on this earth, on this planet together. We're all connected energetically, and we really need to look at the larger picture and say, oh, who cares what goes on in that country? We're fine here. No, we can't do that anymore. Whatever we're going through, the transition is global. It's affected every person on earth, and every one of us has to acknowledge that and be willing to take a step forward in a positive way. We really are one big family, as much as people, say it's not possible. I think it is. We're all connected. And if
Ooh, something in the background.
I think it's a helicopter.
Oh.
Very, very loud.
Yeah, because it's making your voice sound a bit robotic.
Oh, did it come on?
Yeah. Oh, it's clearer now, but I was just like, oh, Nancy.
Must have been all those vibrations. It was quite loud and it came right over.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can see them right in front of my window. They go past. Quite loud that time. I felt the vibration. Oh, interesting, isn't it? Last time we had the birds, today we've got a helicopter.
Yeah.
The birds are getting bigger.
That's it. And they're sending out vibrations. That's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
It's all bringing us back to, I would just confirm we all need to get back to ourselves and enjoy life, really. Come back, natural things, natural ways. No judgment, really. We need to, everybody's so busy picking at, not everybody, I shouldn't really say that's the habit of saying things, but a lot of people still pick make judgments about things or situation about people, but really we need to be observed. We need to observe more and allow each person just to be who they want to be and just observe for what it is without having to wanting to change it. It's not really business what the person's wearing or what they're saying or how they live. It's not our business. It doesn't matter. They can do whatever they like. It's their path as long as they're not hurting anyone. So we need to be more of use our observation skills, and definitely we need to find our common sense and analytical skills, analytical thinking, our thinking skills. I'm sure people have forgotten that they've got those because everybody's they're here. The first thing and they'll follow. Oh yeah, we're going to go. Oh no, we're going to go this. Oh no, this is happening. No, we can't do that. Sit with it. Whatever you hear, whatever you're told, sit with it for the moment, focus within and ask yourself, what's this all about? What's it trying to tell me? How can I make the best situation of this for me and everybody else? Because there's good and bad in every situation. I don't think anything's really, really bad to the point where it's 100% bad. There's always a good side to something. There's always a positive and a negative, always. And that's what we need to focus a lot more on positive, and especially now, how can we get together, create our beautiful new lifestyle where everybody will have a roof over their head, food on the table, be happy, enjoy life.
And express yourself and be creative too. Yeah.
That's number one. Creativity is very, very important. Yeah. And a lot of people have forgotten to be creative, actually.
I was going to say, like, I think some people have definitely surprised me with, like, you know, in terms of like how they, like what their enjoyment of creativity is and actually how good they are, and they're surprised like to hear. I'm like, no, that's actually fantastic. Like, I never knew you could do that. Like, you need to express that to the world. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, really, like some of it's beautiful to look at.
It is. It's quite funny when you say creativity, the first thing that most people would say, oh, but I can't paint. Creativity is not just painting or doing a craft or knitting, whatever it might be. Creativity is anything. You can create a beautiful meal. You can create a beautiful interior design. You can create beautiful friendship. You can create anything you want. Garden, whatever. It's all creativity. It's creating. It's making something, creating something into something better. Just putting things together and exploring and creating. You can write a story. That's creative.
Yes.
Anything, any kind of creative expression, something that improves, that makes you feel better and improves your life. That's what creativity, but it's amazing. Every time I say we have to be more creative, oh, but I can't paint. I bet you can paint. That's good at what professionals would do, but I bet you can paint.
Exactly. And it's very subjective. But and it's finding that creative bone in a sense, because it really doesn't have to be, like you said, painting. You know, some people can sing and some people can, make music or cute little videos that make people laugh. Like, just create something creative. But I think it's very general, but I think,
it is. It's good. That's why so many people are just mad over sharing TikTok and all sorts of things around, all these funny things. And that's exactly what we need. We need to laugh. We need to laugh.
Yeah.
Then we can be more creative and
not project your crap on other people by those means. But definitely for a laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
That felt nice to say. Have a laugh. It feels nice.
It is. Be happy.
Even when it gets a little bit mad, you just gotta have a little giggle, like, oh, what madness.
Well, it is really. Everything is quite, because we create it. We create the everything in our life. Create it all. So if you create something you don't like, why not change it? Look at it, laugh, have a laugh. The minute you have a laugh, you kind of unload all that tension, anything that's stopping you from being who you are. And then as you feel a bit happier, your frequencies, you vibrate higher, everything's higher, you feel happier, and then you can create better because you're laughing, you're relaxed. But when you're tense and you're sad and you're afraid, everything is constricted, restricted, you can't think. Everything slows down, everything's tight, and tension builds within your body, and before you know it, then you start getting backaches, shoulder aches, your whole body starts breaking down because you can only take so much tension. Release, let it go, have a laugh, relax, go for a run, go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Yeah, I was going to say, I think going for a walk is the most underrated thing.
It is.
Not only for your health, but for your mind too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, a few times I've observed, you know, when, like, say, for example, my mum and dad have had like arguments and, you know, really high tension moments. Like one of them's like, I'm going for a walk and I'll be back. And I think that's a very healthy way to,
It is.
you know, especially when they couldn't come to or be civilized enough to argue, like talk it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the energy was just too high and too intense. So
And
go for a walk.
exactly what's the best way to break up that undesirable energy? But go for a walk.
Yeah, don't engage in it, and yeah, go for a walk, clear your mind. So yeah.
Instant, the energy changes instantly because you've separated. One's gone for a walk, you're doing something else, and then when you get back together, you can hopefully think more rationally and have another. That's
have another go.
Yeah, maybe not that day, maybe leave it for another day, but at least when you go for a walk, you've changed, the energy's changed for starters. There's a shift in your energy. You're releasing the tension from your cells because it builds up from within. And when you exercise and you walk, you're releasing it. And then you, as your body starts releasing the feel good, you know, endorphins, you automatically start feeling better. It's just how it works. Then you're not in the same fighting mood, are you, when you're feeling a little bit more relaxed?
Yeah.
Break up the energy. Don't keep going, because if you're in that same energy where you're arguing, it's only going to intensify or get worse. So, okay, this is not working. Separate, go for a walk, go for a run. A lot of people love running.
I was thinking in my head, literally like a basketball game. All right, time out.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Time out.
Time out.
That's exactly right.
And you need to. I think sometimes it's the only way to, yeah, like you said, diffuse high tension, high anger. Yeah, because it's only going to explode, because that energy needs to go somewhere, and that when you go with that energy, it's very usually a bad situation. Or you'll say something you actually don't mean, but it's just like, I just want to hurt somebody right now because I'm feeling all this anger and I need to hurt somebody. And that's the general direction of that. Whereas if you're like, all right, time out, you put a block on it. Yeah. And you transform it to something better.
Yeah.
And it's as easy as going for a walk. Yeah. A lot of times dad has come back and he's like, all right, try again.
Yep.
And yeah, it's actually, I'm pretty lucky to see that happen. Like, yeah, mum, dad have taken a pretty good approach.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just boiled over and they've both said things they don't mean, but they've definitely learned. And it's like, ooh, stop.
Right. It's a very healthy way of dealing with it. I'm off for a walk. We'll work it out later. And you do quite often when you're on your walk by yourself, you come to your own conclusions and answers, and a lot of things are already resolved because you haven't got the energy, you haven't got that tension. When you up against another person, that energy is dissolved and you're on your own, and you quite often you can solve your problems no time at all. So it's a time out is very good. Anytime.
We should have designated timeouts. I think every day designated timeouts for yourself, and it doesn't have to be in an argument, even if it's like, say, with work. Like, I've literally had moments at work where I'm like, oof, this is too much, and I've walked away from the desk for 5 minutes and I come back so much more refreshed. Yeah, just don't engage in it as much as you can and just transform that energy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've literally thought of moments and I was like, oh, F this. I put aside, I'm like, be right back in 5 minutes. I'll be on the balcony just having a coffee and just letting my eyes just unfocus and okay.
Yeah.
Deep breath, go back.
That's right. Yeah. That's what we need to do. It makes a huge difference. Very good. Very, very good. Anything else we want to talk about today?
No, I think we've given them a gentle warning. Expect something in the next week, because you and I usually pick it up the week before.
Yeah.
And I felt the energy really, really intensely yesterday. So
Oh yes, it's huge.
then just observing some absolute ludicrous situations between people. I'm like, oh, okay, this is where we at. So just be observant, don't engage as much as you can. Go
like
for a
watching
walk.
like watching a horror movie.
Oh, literally watching robots pretending to be humans, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, that's the scary part, isn't it? We need to bring our humanity back and start laughing and interacting again. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're on the way.
Yeah.
We're coming back to reality again, but a new kind of outlook on life, because we've all reassessed our values and what we want to do, how we want to live, who we want to be with. So,
and not feeling guilty about it. Yeah.
there's no need for guilt whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you do feel guilty, you need to sit down and say, okay, analyze it. Where's this coming from? What's it teaching me? Like everything else, anything that comes up that doesn't feel right, makes you feel bad in any way, yep, just ask. Why did I manifest this? Why is it in my face? What's it teaching me?
Yeah.
What do I do with it? And then I'll bet you'll come up with answers. Always happen. If not straight away, it'll come a little bit later. Just don't force it. Ask and let it go, and you'll get your answer.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's all good.
And it's very effective the more you practice that, I find.
Analyze every situation instead of attacking another person, instead of attacking for whether it's person or situation, whatever's happened in your life, instead of blaming, projecting and blaming, say, hey, wait a minute, why is this in my life? Start analyzing, asking. It's asking yourself, really. You go within and you ask yourself, and because you created it, so you have all the answers and solutions. I'm saying you as people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely understand.
We create all these things, and we know all the answers we need are within. We just got to tap in and have trust. We need to trust in our own feelings and little urges, inner urges. How many times people dismiss, oh yeah, but yeah, I did feel that, but I didn't trust it. So sooner or later, you have to learn to trust yourself, trust your intuition. It knows what you need. It's very important.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, we'll wrap it up for today, shall we?
Yeah, thank you.
It's been lovely.
Good luck out there, everyone. But I'm sure you'll be definitely fine. We'll go with the flow.
Start talking to each other when you're at the shops.
Yeah, don't lock up, and because you probably have someone like me observing you having a giggle.
We are funny. Well, we'll get there. Okay, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.